Sigrid straightened back up and turned to her maidservants, still standing with their heads bowed, ready to receive the blessing. The body of the dead slave girl, mouth agape and wearing a white dress, lay on the stone slab beside them. A human sacrifice was the most precious of offerings, and the girl had volunteered to die in the hope of saving the estate and the world. The girl had not been fearful until Asta, Sigrid's willing sacrificial priestess, greedily slit her jugular veins. Then they had been forced to hold her down on the stone. Sigrid dipped the sprig into the bowl of blood again. May Vanadis, the most powerful of the goddesses, bless you. Sigrid's voice remained strong and powerful. She was careful to reveal neither her despair nor her fear. In the goddess's absence, it was Sigrid's duty to give her people the hope and strength to withstand Utgard's darkness. Hope was the only nourishment they had. Sigrid splashed blood onto her kinswoman Leah's face and chest, and watched how greedily she drank in the blood's life force in the hope of recovering her strength. You were chosen by the power of the Radiant One, she said, and splashed the blood on Gunja's emaciated face. The young maid, once so full of blooming vitality, was like a pale shadow of her former self. Then she proceeded to Borghild, and the other, now solemn young women who served in her court. Heir, with her curly dark hair, was the last one. By the time Sigrid set down the sprig, they had all been spattered with blood from the sacrifice to Vanadis. Vanadis, I pray you, free us. But it was in vain. Sigrid closed her eyes as aching despair tore through her. Vanadis remained absent. None of the gods took pity on them. They couldn't rise out of this abyss of death and devastation yet. What do you want from me, Radiant One? What can I do to persuade you? Sigrid opened her eyes and looked at her kinswomen. Wasn't the slave girl's life enough? Do you want still more offerings? Her cloak fluttered in the wind, but there was no response, only a cursed silence. 2. Their time was running out. Sigrid stood in the doorway of her formal hall, watching the members of her court comfortably seated on the benches around the fire as they ate their morning gruel. They basked in her prosperity, unconcerned about the winter of starvation afflicting those outside the warmth of her hall. Measuring 40 paces across, her torch-lit hall had gleaming white walls, hung with embroidered tapestries, shields, and bronze discs. The benches lining the long walls were covered in the finest marten pelts, and the decorative beams overhead were painted in beautiful colors. The Schulving clan nobles, dressed in dyed tunics with silver chains around their necks, joked with one another. Those rich and powerful men with graying beards sat with their legs wide apart, debating the latest gossip. Sigrid's kinswomen chatted merrily together as if there were no imminent threat. They played with their intricately braided hair and strutted around trying to capture the men's attention. Tall and handsome, Olaf sat among them, his curly hair like a victory crown. He leaned forward, smiling, and then said something that caused the warriors and his retinue to burst into resounding laughter. Sigrid smiled sadly. The gods had chosen her blessed son Olaf to vanquish the darkness of Christianity. Their fates all rested on the blade he wielded, and if he came up short, they would tumble into the abyss. Not even he understood that the world was falling apart. He's far too young, she told Jarl Edmund, who quietly joined her in the doorway. Young King Olaf is well raised, my queen, he said. He will not fail. Sigrid sighed. Edmund's faith in Olaf had never faltered. But Sigrid was all too familiar with her son's shortcomings. The Jarl's cheeks flushed beneath his dark beard, his hair mussed from their most recent romp, though he was the lowly third.